Hey guys, welcome to another maintenance announcement update that we're going to be receiving tomorrow by the time of this recording, which is going to be all about the 3 new awakenings that we're going to be getting from Lass, Mari, and Adele. And I do want to say so far, and I'm very biased to this, but I'm really digging this Lass outfit right here. I am such a fool for ninjas. So we're going to be reading through this because there's this maintenance announcement for the awakening and also the new event that we're going to be receiving with it as well. I already read through these logs again, mainly so I don't have to be here for an hour. So I'm going to be able to sum it up here while also giving my opinions on this new update that we're going to be receiving tomorrow. As always, if you like these videos and would like to see more Grand Chase content here in the future, you're more than welcome to leave a like, comment, subscribe, because we do Grand Chase content here on a weekly basis, and we usually read these announcement logs whenever they come out. So without further ado, let's just start with the awakening. So for starters here, there's not much here that is really interesting. They basically just made a copy paste on how the awakening special skill works and how the core systems also function. But I already went through how this works out on my awakening video. So if you want to know more of how these systems works here and there, you're more than welcome to check that video instead or read it for yourself. I will make sure to leave the updated log in the description for everyone who would like to read it as well. But one thing here that is worth mentioning before we move on is that they are making some improvements to not just the awakening, but also in the UI a little bit. For instance, they're going to be improving the skill cooldown number and size, which I still don't know why they lowered that for some reason. Like before, to me it was just fine the way it was, but now it's really just small and sometimes it's really hard to read how much time I have. So I'm thankful that they're doing this now. They're also gonna make 4th-bar skills different from the awakening skill, which I'm not sure what they mean by that, but I do want to mention that they wrote awakening wrong. They're also going to be changing more about information being more visible. For instance, they're now going to make it better to tell between the awakening support core from the skill tree, which I personally don't understand what this means. I think it's just going to be more easy to find it in the skill tree option or something. I sincerely don't know about that one. They're also going to add more visible information on the awakening support core, which I think this is pretty cool. And I also like the little fact here that it shows that this is epic, possibly because the special defense power for here is 373, which is somewhere between the middle of these, which I think is a good information to show that if that memory core is good or not, and if you should just reroll or maybe not keep it as your preference right now. I think that the little detail is pretty nice. They're also going to add options to allow players to receive classic voices before the awakening for Lyre and Army, which I think this only counts for Korean right now. So I'm not 100% sure if the other languages are going to get that now. So we're just gonna have to wait and see about that. Now, as always with these awakenings, we're also be getting this biblical of a fucking update right here. There's a lot to talk about here, but I'm gonna try to sum it up everything that I understand for the most of it. So if I have to sum it up, all of this thing in a few words here is that every character got now a better hitbox when hitting their main combos. Some attacks are now more fluent and it makes it easy to chain with other attacks. They got now faster animations, which now makes their attacks even more faster. So small little details on how some attacks now behave, which I'm going to talk about them in a little bit here because some of these are very important to mention. For Lass, for instance, he got one very interesting change here. Now all his skills like super jump, invincibility, flash, now you don't do that with your X key, but now with the C key. Instead, what the X is going to be is for the rapid slash or wild throw, which is the kunai throws that every Lass player likes to do, which now instead of you spamming Z a lot of times, all you need to do is press X 3 times and you're just able to throw the kunais, which also they increased the attack speed of it too. The second job of Lass also got something with the Z key, but I personally didn't understand that very well because I don't play with the second job. If you press the Z key while going behind the enemy, it makes an instant attack. Oh, it's the critical hit. Okay, I do kind of understand now. I forgot to read that part, so I guess I understand now just a little bit from what little memory I do of having played the second job. And then for the 4th job, what they did here is that now his dash attack, I can't find it here now, but essentially now his dash attack goes through enemies. Oh, here we go. I found it right here. As I said, it's essentially now like Lyre's 4th job where her dash attack also goes through enemies. So very much come in handy for easy back attacks. For Adele, not a lot here, unfortunately. The only thing here that is worth mentioning that I can recall is that now all her cooldowns are 2 seconds instead of 4, which I think is cool and all, but at this point, why not just make it 0 seconds, you know? Like 2 seconds doesn't feel all that much of a pain for me. But I guess it makes sense. Adele does need to reload the gun, so I suppose it does take 2 seconds at the very least. But also, some of her attacks now can hit multiple enemies, which Also pretty nice, the weapon itself can also now hit multiple enemies, which makes me wonder how that MP recovery is going to look like. It's probably going to be nuts already, because if it just hitting one enemy does some decent MP, imagine hitting multiple. It's just crazy as it is. The Mari herself also got some very interesting ones. For instance, they improved the transition of their booster jump, which I'm not sure what that means. Never realized how bad this is, but I'm sure somebody's gonna enjoy this as well. Second job of Mari probably got the more interesting update for me, because they essentially just removed the heat gauge completely. So now you're just able to shoot everything and everyone for free. Because for those who don't remember, Gunslinger had that one problem with the heat gauge, where if it fills completely, you're not allowed to attack at all, except for throwing skills. But now that they removed this bar completely, it kind of makes me feel like now we're gonna see more of Gunslinger in motion, because despite this heat gauge shit, I personally really enjoy Gunslinger. It's a very fun class to work with. It was just like limited with this annoying heat gauge. And also it feels like it's much more interesting, because now the bullets also can penetrate the enemies. Makes me wonder how much MP we're gonna get, and it's crazy. It's crazy for me to even think about how they removed the heat gauge, but no for Adele. She needs that cooldown of 2 seconds, because for some reason, if she didn't have the cooldown, it would be too broken. But I guess fair enough. Like I said, she needs times to reload that gun, so it makes sense, I guess. For a fourth job, there was not much here to talk about either. The only thing that is worth mentioning is that they improved the direction that the Freeze of Tempest and Core Break now casted. Which, if for those who don't know, if you cast either one of these with Mari, she would always face the right, even if you are facing the left, which means that if you throw a pet attack afterwards, it would always do it to the right. Even if you're facing left, the pet would always attack to the right. So now they improved that if you use that skill to the left, the pet's gonna attack to the left. If you do it to the right, you will do it on the right. They say it's an improvement of the character, but sincerely I always saw this as a bug. Don't understand how this one thing can be a feature at all. And here's some example of how the characters were going to be working after the update. Last over here is just fucking crazy with these attacks. It feels like now it's going to be so much better to do these, as we've seen before with Alice's and the others, how now some attacks look so much better to do and so much easier to pull it off, and with Last feels that way from what I'm seeing here. It looks much more faster, which is pretty nice. Here's also the fourth job here is an example of the dash attack. He's just mixing my poor dude Entei. Here's also an example of Mari's. Like I'm saying, dude, Gunslinger looks like he's gonna be so much fun with this. Like, I can just already see this class being back on the rise, just because now it's much more playable. There's the movement as well for the fourth job, which now you can do it in the air, which I always thought you could, but apparently you don't. I'm gonna figure this out later when I start playing Ranch Haste, which is pretty funny. I never really noticed about that. And here's also Adele. You can see here that a lot of dash attacks are now hitting multiple people. The gun also hits many people as well, which is really good. Really excited to play with them, even if they're not my main characters at all. Other than that, the other person that got a balance here was the pet Royd, which they increased the stun time. So that was it for the Awakening for now. What I want to talk about now is the event that we're going to be getting here. First things first, the attendance log, the also favorable attendance log. This one is going to be actually pretty interesting. We're getting the skill tree reset card that I think it's very useful to get. Some property scrolls as well. We're also getting the new moon. This visual. I forgot the name of it for a moment there. We're also getting this card here, which from far away I can't tell what that is. It kind of feels like that one first year anniversary card that they have, but I could be wrong on that. It's really hard to see it from over here, but we're gonna figure that out tomorrow. They're also doing another hyperspeed mission with one of the 3 awakened characters we're gonna be getting. So much like the last time we could only play with Alice's Lion Army, this one is Last, Adele, and Mari. It's the exact same rewards, but it's only for these 3 characters. The Awakening event is now active once more, but again, with this time is with Last, Adele, and Mari. The exact same rewards are also here. It's very worth investing on this, by the way, so please do these missions if possible, because there's some very good rewards. The only different thing here that I can tell is this new event here that it's personally one of my favorites, is the Capsule Summon event. So essentially how this works is you acquire summon coins daily through some other missions that you're going to be doing every week. And I'm pretty sure daily, if I recall, you're able to get these coins. And when you get 3 coins, you're able to spend it on the capsules, and you're essentially going to get a random capsule between blue, red, purple, and yellow. And depending on what color you get from these, you get rewards based on what that color has to offer. They do share a list here of the rewards you can get. Blue capsules focus on scrolls. You get reinforcement scrolls or property scrolls. The red capsule, it's focused on monster cards. So if you really need to get that collection or just get a better card, the red capsule got your back. Purple capsule got fragments for earrings and piercings. Really interesting. I don't remember if that's what the purple one used to give before. I'm pretty sure it is, but I just really can't remember the last time. It's been a while. And then you got the yellow one, which is called the Lucky Gold, which you get 1 gold capsule fragment and all content from the blue, red, and purple capsules. So essentially this one is the biggie, which you basically get everything, but this one is a very difficult capsule to drop, so don't expect to get this one constantly. It's a really rare one to get, but if you get this one, then thumbs up, you actually got something very valuable. You can also get rewards based on how many times you open these capsules. I do want to mention that Chest 45 is actually pretty decent because it allows you to pick one of the void cards that you get on the battle pass, which are really good cards here because some of the void cards here are one of the best cards in the game. Voido Chaser is essentially Serenitone with 772 special attack and 87% pain resistance for boots and pants. Voido Challenger is essentially just Gaian with 31% critical damage. Unfortunately, I don't recall what Voido Avenger is. I think this is either Guardian of the Temple from Temple of Time or it's Henok. I don't recall which one it is, but either way, it's 515 attack for upper armor or cape, so whether you want one of these is really good. All these 3 cards are good, but my personal recommendation is Voido Challenger because it's essentially getting a Gaian card, and who says no to that? For Seal Breakers, we're getting the Bubble Festa again and Hair to the Pale. 2 awesome sets here that I think it was really cool. For the story here, we're essentially getting mostly the same, but for the 3 awakened characters here as well, so not a lot here has changed. We're also getting the Cordy set from the Full Moon Festival that we're going to be receiving, and the Moonlight Village, which they always give these for free for everybody, and I'm pretty sure they're also giving it for free on the attendance log, yeah, on day 7. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it for the maintenance announcements that we're going to be getting. Overall, for the events, it's still pretty much mostly the same, so I don't know how to feel much about it. I really like these events personally. Hyperspeed for me is like whatever, like I mentioned on the first one as well. I already have everybody level 85, so it's not much of a big deal for me, but I know that it's not for somebody else who doesn't have these characters at level 85, so I know they're gonna enjoy this as more than I ever would. But hey, free rewards is free rewards, so we also take those. The Awaken mission is also something that I personally really enjoy the dynamic of this event and getting everything. Also very happy to get the Capsule Summon again. Like I said, this is one of my personal favorite events just because of how simple it is, and it's more of just a casual event for us. I think I remember getting some good stuff on the first time, so it's really natural that I expect the same again. For the Awakenings, I'm really excited to play around with some of these jobs from what I'm seeing here. Just looking at them, it really makes me excited to play with them again, specifically just to see how Assassin and Dark Assassin, for instance, are looking like, because these jobs, I rarely see these jobs in action anymore. I only saw somebody playing Assassin a few days ago. Honestly, I couldn't even tell if they were doing good or not just because I was not paying attention at all. I can only imagine they do because the Assassin actually has very good skill damage, but the problem with Assassin is just very weird combo attacks and all this stuff. So I really want to see how good this one's going to look after this. The most excited character that I have here is probably Adele, just because now all her attacks hit all the enemies. It really makes me wonder what kind of a menace stuff we can do with her. Like I mentioned, the only thing here that really bothers me is that now cooldown of 2 seconds for the skill. Like, again, I don't know why they couldn't just make it 0. Like, 2 seconds just doesn't feel that much. So, like, really don't know why they didn't just go, oh, let's just make it 0 instead. It's just really not that much of big of a deal. Again, we can go for that logic of she needs to reload the gun. Which honestly, if that's why it's 2 seconds, sure, it's a hard rock for me to swallow, but we'll deal with it, because other than that, I think Adele looks pretty fun to mess around with. Dare I also say I'm very excited for Gunslinger, just because they removed the heat gauge. I sincerely believe that this job is gonna see much more light, and specifically things like the Abysmal Path, I would say. Hopefully, I don't know, sincerely. Maybe people will still go with Gia's, obviously, because Gia's is just Gia's best job of hers, but honestly, I really want to see more Gunslinger in the future, just because now it feels like it's going to be such a fun job to work around with. And unfortunately, I'm not that much of excited for Alas. I mean, being able to see kunais being thrown faster is nice and all, but if you don't know me, hi, I don't like Lass. He's not one of the characters I enjoy playing with the most, but maybe we'll enjoy him here. You know, there's some very cool things in here that really call my attention. I also forgot to mention that apparently now you don't need to double jump to throw the air kunais as well, which is pretty nice. But I am excited to play with all these characters overall. Even if I don't like Lass that much, that doesn't stop me from going, this could be fun now with these characters. So yeah, that was it for the maintenance announcement. Overall, I'm very excited to have fun with these characters and also the event that we're going to be getting, because the capsule, like I mentioned, and we'll never get tired of saying it, is one of my favorite events so far. Like I said before, if you'd like to see more Grand Chase content here in the future, you're more than welcome to leave a like, comment, subscribe, because we do Grand Chase content here on a weekly basis. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day today. Stay awesome, stay safe, have a great farm section today, and we see each other next time. Peace.